everyone. Today let us discuss the most important law of economics, that is law of variable proportion, which is also called as law of diminishing returns, developed by the classical economist David Ricardo and Alfred Marshall. Later on it was renamed as law of variable proportion by some of the modern economists. So here the law of variable proportion mainly operates on the basis of time frame. In simple, we can say that the law of variable proportion operates in short run period. So it is a very less time for a producer to change the factors of production to increase his output. So the producer tries to increase his output by changing the variable factor, that is labor, where the land, capital, organization and technology remains fixed. So here, in case of law of variable proportion, the factors of production are classified into two types, variable factors and fixed factors. And the units of variable factors are homogeneous in case of law of variable proportion. That is, the number of laborers employed, the quality of the laborers remains homogeneous. And not only that, the technology or the state of technology remains constant. If there is an improvement in the technology, what happens? It is going to increase the average product and marginal product instead of diminishing. And because of which, the state of technology is assumed to be constant in case of law of variable proportion. And not only that, here the product is measured in terms of physical units, that is in quintals or tons. So these are some of the important assumptions of law of variable proportion. So the law states that when the variable factors are combined with the fixed factors, the proportion between the variable factors and the fixed factors undergo changes. And such type of change is called as law of variable proportion. Why is it called as law of variable proportion? Because here the farmer or the producer wants to increase his output by changing the variable factor, keeping the other factors constant. So when the farmer is combining the variable factor with the fixed factor, the output undergoes changes. So such kind of change is called as law of variable proportion. Let us take an example of a farmer who is having 10 acres of land and he wants to increase his output by increasing the number of laborers employed. So in these 10 acres of land, when he employs the first labor, the proportion between the fixed factor and the variable factor will be 10:1. That is, one labor is cultivating 10 acres of land. So when he employs the second labor, what happens? The proportion between the fixed factor and the variable factor will be 5:1. That is, each labor is cultivating 5 acres of land. So likewise, the number of laborers the farmer is employing is increasing. The proportion between the variable factor and the fixed factor undergo changes, which reflects on output what they are producing. And this can be seen in three stages. That is, increasing returns, first stage, second stage, diminishing returns, and third stage, negative returns. Let us try to understand these three stages more elaborately with the help of hypothetical schedule. So here we have the first column, units of variable factors. We are taking it as laborers, number of laborers, which is increasing by the producer to increase his output. Now we have total product, which we are assuming, and this total product is increasing at an increasing rate initially. Later on it increases at a diminishing rate and becomes maximum with the employment of 7th labor, and after which, if the producer is employing any more additional laborers, the total product diminishes. And next we have average product. This is per unit product, which we are deriving with the help of total product and the variable factor. That is, by dividing total product with the variable factor, we are going to get average product. So what is happening to average product? Here, the average product is increasing initially and it becomes maximum with the employment of fourth labor, and it is decreasing later. Now, what is happening to marginal product? The marginal product is the additional output produced by the additional laborer employed, which can be obtained with the help of the equation Tp of n minus Tp of n minus 1. Total product of n, that is total product of second unit of labor employed, minus total product of first unit of labor employed. We are going to get marginal product. So what is happening to marginal product here? Initially, the marginal product is 8 with the employment of first labor. When he employs the second labor, the marginal product increases at a diminishing rate. It increases to 12. That is, Tp of n is 20 minus Tp of n minus 1 is 8. 20 minus 8, the total marginal product is 12 units. As likewise, when we are calculating for all the number of laborers employed, the marginal product increases at a diminishing rate in the beginning. With the employment of third labor, the marginal product becomes maximum. Later on, it will start decreasing, and with the employment of seventh labor, the marginal product becomes 0. This is an indicator to the farmer that if he is going to employ any more additional units of laborers, he is going to get negative returns. That is, when the farmer employs 8th labor, the marginal product becomes negative. So here, let us see what are the different stages what the farmer has to undergo when he is employing more number of laborers. So, first stage we have stage of increasing returns. So, with the employment of additional laborers, the point where the average product and the marginal product are equal, the farmer ends with the first stage. And when he employs 5th and 6th labor, the total product is decreasing, average product is decreasing, and marginal product is also decreasing. So here, with the employment of 5th and 6th labor, the farmer enters the second stage called as stage of diminishing returns. So still, if he employs any more additional laborers to increase his output, when the farmer employs 7th labor and 8th labor, the total product decreases. That is, the total product becomes maximum with the employment of 7th labor, and with the employment of 8th labor, total product decreases. And the average product decreases. The marginal product becomes 0 with the employment of 7th labor and becomes negative with the employment of 8th labor. So, the farmer enters the third stage called as stage of negative returns. So, let us see all these three stages in the form of a graph. So, here in graph on x-axis we are measuring variable factors, and on y-axis we are measuring total product, average product and marginal product. So, this is the total product curve which increases at an increasing rate in the beginning, later on increases at a diminishing rate till point P, it becomes maximum, and later on it will decrease, total product will decrease. So, till the employment of third labor, the total product increases at a increasing rate, and later it increases at a diminishing rate and becomes maximum at point P. That is, with the employment of 7th labor, the total product becomes maximum, and with the employment of 8th labor, the total product will start diminishing. Now, what is happening to average product? Average product increases in the beginning. It becomes maximum at point Q. That is, with the employment of 4th labor, the average product becomes maximum. Later on, it will start diminishing. So, one thing we must notice here, that the average product will always diminish, but it will never touch or it will never intersect the x-axis. Now, what is happening to marginal product here? The marginal product increases in the beginning at a diminishing rate. becomes maximum at point Q1 with the employment of third labor. With the employment of third labor, the marginal product becomes maximum, and later on it will start diminishing, becomes equal to the average product at point Q with the employment of fourth labor, and it will diminish, becomes 0 at point S1 with the employment of seventh labor, and later on it will start becoming negative. So let us see what are the three stages that the farmer is undergoing here. So the first stage starts from the origin, ends at point S, and in this first stage the total product is increasing, average product is increasing and becomes maximum at point Q, and the marginal product is increasing, becomes maximum at point Q1, and it will start decreasing in the first stage itself. This is called as stage of increasing returns. And now the farmer enters the second stage when he employs the additional laborers. From point S to S1 we have second stage where the total product is increasing at a diminishing rate and becomes maximum at point P, and the average product is decreasing, marginal product decreases and becomes 0 at point S1. Point S1, this is a point of saturation, which is an indicator to the farmer that if he is going to employ any more additional units of the laborer, he is going to get negative returns. So even though when he employs the 8th laborer, what is happening? He enters the third stage, and in third stage the total product decreases, average product decreases and the marginal product becomes negative. This is called as stage of negative returns. So any rational producer would like to prefer to stay in second stage. Why not in first stage or third stage? Because in first stage the producer is getting increasing returns, so he doesn't want to stop his production. And in third stage the farmer doesn't want to stay at all or enter at all, because this is the stage where he is getting negative returns. So any rational producer would prefer to stay in the second stage where he is getting maximum profits. So hope this is clear to all of you. This is one of the most important law of economics for examination point of view. Very important for 10 marks. So you must be thorough with this law. Any doubts you can post in your comment section, and for reference material you can refer to my blog. I'll share the link in description box. Thank you.